Hi, how are you? Good morning. It is Facebook Live 40. So I wanted to take this time and just talk about movement lesson and how to use it to your advantage. Yes, movement lesson is a modality based off of natural principles of movement, more so your transitional milestones. But it doesn't matter if it's movement lesson or not, or I'm Michelle Turner or not, or you're going to one of my practitioners. Your concern is, how do I help my child? That's it. You know what I mean? That's the whole reason I did all this is because, again, how do I help my child? So for those of you that don't know me, my son was fine. He was walking and talking and cruising down the hallway, and at 13 months he contracted Haemophilus influenza. Don't jump. He got the vaccine, and instead of getting the antibodies, he got the actual disease. He didn't make the titers. Nobody caught this for 3 years. Don't get me started. 20-some surgeries. It was only like the last surgery is 14th out of his 15 skull surgeries that someone decided to send it out for a culture. We've been through, I shouldn't say we, my son has been through the ringer. None of us planned for this. A lot of you are here because you're not even thinking your child's special needs. That's not what movement lesson is about. Movement lesson is about helping anybody move better, right? And when a child is deviating from its course of what it should be doing, right? First of all, your number one source of action, right, or a red flag, the red flag is the deviation. Anytime you have concerns, there's a deviation, right? So you're not being paranoid. You know, it's sort of like getting the light that your tire pressure is going down, right? But you're not going to be like, oh, it should be fine. You know, I'm not going to worry about it. You get out of the car first. You walk around. Okay, you don't see anything. You don't see a nail. You don't see anything like that. Then, like what we're having right now, change of season. So in Arizona, we go from 90 degrees to 60 degrees in a day. So again, the air pressure is different. So everyone's tire lights are coming up because if you were just on the verge of a low tire pressure, it will show up because cold air is a lower pressure than hot air, right? Again, just natural laws. So in my case, I needed to put air into all my tires because I was just down to 29. You know, a typical person, go, 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 but don't take care of the little things. So that's fine, right? So that's what really anyone should be in your life. Well, with movement lesson, though, we look at the whole picture. So we look at vision, because vision is your window to the neutrality. You know, most people think vision is just about sight, right? But you have to have, just like a bird, you have to, you know, everything has to be around it, and there's neutrality. This is one of the reasons why babies don't have sight right at the beginning, because their nervous system, the brain, is setting up the formation of movement through the eyes, right? So the eyes are sitting there moving back and forth and finding their position, just like when an airplane's landing, you know what I mean, and it gets that burst of air, right? Your gyroscopes are coming into play. Well, the human body has these gyroscopes throughout its system, pelvis being the number one, back of head, wrist, ankles are subgyros. Again, this is the science behind it, but again, that's not where your concern is. The biggest thing that I try to talk to about getting help for babies, and the biggest deviation is, nobody's looking for problems with their under 6 months of age. Nobody's finding fault with the baby. It's very rare. Even after a lengthy NICU experience, birth trauma, it can be really quite a rough couple of days or weeks going into it, right? But nobody's looking for it. If the eye is off or an ear is out, oh, Uncle Charlie had that. Right? Now, if I was asking about your 15-year-old, find fault with them, you'd give me a laundry list. They don't pick up their clothes, they're always late, they don't do their homework, whatever. That's okay, but our DNA doesn't find fault with the baby. So again, when my son got sick, I just thought that if he was sick, he'd be fine in a week. I did not know my son regressed to worse than I'd say about a 2-month level. So you went from a 13-month level of walking and talking. You could say mommy, daddy, the dog. If you said, where's the dog? The dog. You know, all of that. Using utensils. That's the one thing I really don't have back, is utensils. Even though he's just about 18. So I lost him. I mean, I just lost him. I had no idea. And again, I thought he was sick and he'd be back in a week. And a week went by and 2 weeks went by and again. I actually had a doctor that said to me, he goes, I'm so tired of parents like you. You're either looking for an Einstein or someone to play in the Lakers, you know. And I said, well, since my chances are slim and none on either, can I just have my kid back? I really, you know, again, we didn't have Facebook. We didn't have, you know, Google is finally, again, Graham's 18. He was born in 03. I can't even begin to tell you how spoiled you are by this group and others. The wealth of information that you have is phenomenal. Take advantage of it, but please, I want to say one thing though of caution, and this is where you see me all the time. I'm happy to help any baby, despite I need to see a video. If any one of you thinks that you're putting something in writing about what you feel your child has going on or doesn't have happening in writing, and you're getting advice, you're getting false information. Someone has to be there, especially a professional, whether you listen to me or not, again, and needs to know how to evaluate your child. If you're hearing, oh, my child did that and they're fine, you know what I mean? It's not the right thing. Or if you're hearing, oh, my child did this and they had this, that's also incorrect, right? I like to rule out, I have a little baby we're working in right now from Croatia that's popping in for complications. They're blaming it on the muscle structure. Now, no baby twists out the way that they're doing and not being more medical based. So I need to rule out medical first. I'm the first person to work with medical. My son is autoimmune failure. My son, yes, has autism, but he's chronic lungs, chronic sinuses. He had eosinophilitis all the way up into the nasal cavity. Again, for those of you that know what I'm talking about. He's had significant panniculitis. He's had preseptal cellulitis. He's been sepsis. Again, he's had over 20-some surgeries. So again, I can go on my experiences. My experiences as a mother is, my God, that none of you go through what my son has gone through. Not what I've gone through, what my son has gone through. So they said he would never walk or talk. I started doing various therapies, alternative and so forth, and I finally just got tired and said, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. If one more person walked into my house and said, if he was just a little stronger because he is so hypertonic, he could blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, little old ladies can go to the grocery store. They don't have like six-pack abs and core strength. It's not about core strength. So it's not that I question people, but I question people. And you know what? God bless. I have gravity coming out. I have 21 new theories of gravity coming out in about 2 weeks. You can't get to Mars without me. And I literally was doing research for a movement lesson and was reading a really good book by Marcus Brown on gravity. And they said, we know very little about gravity in the human body, and would make comments, flippant comments here and there. And I'm like, that's not true. And so, that's where that came from. So how do you expect Movement Lesson to work with you? Now, first of all, I totally concur. I can't lock myself through the computer to see you. We had COVID going on. It was said to me a long time ago by one of my mentors, like, if they want it to happen, they'll find the money. It's not about the money, okay? Money can help. Look at Franklin Delano Roosevelt. All the money in the world couldn't get him to walk. He had polio. He was doing the presidency with a catheter. You know what I mean? And nobody said anything of it. The man could not, they'd lock his braces in for him to stand. They had special chairs back then to help him. But, you know what I mean? He couldn't move. He couldn't move his legs. But that doesn't mean he couldn't be president, right? So anything is possible when you know what's going on. So the first thing you need to know is what is going on. So what is going on in my world, I really don't look at the diagnoses. I'm looking at how your child processes movement. So that's the first thing we need to do. I have the newborn assessment, let's say, for newborns coming in, but honestly, you can do the newborn assessment on a 60-year-old. There's assessments that need to be done, and vision. Now, fine motor skills. Fine motor skills to me include breathing in the spine. Because when you're an infant, Your spine is a fine motor skill. Why? Because you're just lying there. You can't sit, you can't stand, you can't walk. You can't do those things because they're fine motor skills. You can't do those, I can't stand on my hands all day because I have fine motor skills now becoming gross motor skills. And then there are the gross motor skills that have to be evaluated, right? The baby should be able to be in any position at any time of the day. So already when I hear my baby prefers to look to the right, my baby hates tummy time. There's again, these are deviations that are starting to show up. So when you're originally looking for the help for your child, we need to see where your child is organizing movement and where they're not going into organizing movement. And so with that, again, tons of free courses. I mean, I have the largest library of working with the human body. You are probably here because you've seen me on YouTube, right? Or a friend of yours has seen me on YouTube. I have every video out there known to man. Now, a lot of these are in trainings. I wish I could give you an easy answer on how to undo an NG tube and intubation, but you're going to have to take the nasal and ear course for the cranial course. It's very extensive. It's probably over 200 videos, but there's some things I can't explain in one video. We have practitioners around the world, but the best way of starting with movement lesson is, again, finding out what your child needs to move better, right? That's all we want. Even if I say I want a new car, how am I going to drive better in that car? How am I going to move better? How am I going to get to Walmart better? Do I need that new car? That's what we ask these questions every day. It's all about moving better, even at anti-aging. It's all about moving better. So you post your video here. Now, you can come to the clinic. That's the easy answer. People come for a week, 2 weeks. You can do a Zoom with me. Right? Or you can post a video here, and you just have to look at Katie just last week said, 10 days, look at my kid that I've just been doing the movement lesson videos. The courses are increasing as we are going on now that COVID hit. My goal is to put my brain onto a computer, by end of next year, everything that I'm putting into. I have the subscription site. The subscription site has like 1,000 videos. A lot of people don't like the subscription site because it's just too much. Pick a video. Every day we post a video that goes through the subscription site. Just do it. Just try it out. Every day we have something. It's like going to a Zoom class and just come to a movement lesson class. Am I going to do this right? You are so guided here. The courses again, another great free course is in breathing. You learn the touch. You might say, oh, my child doesn't have a problem with breathing. If I go to do like this, there's a breath. So breathing isn't always about having a pulse socket 98, right? You have to be able to move into all positions and breathe. Breathing is a great course. My child just doesn't see well. Gosh, vision in your child, what a great course. PDFs, how to go to an ophthalmologist, how to work with CVI, how to work with delayed maturation, how to work what's farsighted, what's nearsighted. It's a great course. It's all free. Okay, now I realize I need patching. Okay, I have a patching course. So there's all different ways that movement lesson is here for you, right? The biggest problem is when you find a child that's having a deviation, and this is going to be your trick. Again, whether you're dealing with movement lesson or not, your trick is to look at, okay, what does it take to help my child, right? Again, and is what I'm about to do going to help my child? If you're not sure, post a video, right? It's free. Just put it into the group. Or again, if you want your privacy, there's a Zoom. You get my brain for an hour. And then you're going to go and you post the video and you're going to start dealing with the course that you need to. Now we're upgrading the Movement Lesson Boot Camp into Movement Lesson 101 to give it a bit more substance. Again, if you want to start off too on how to set up your home program, free webinar, just go to the front page or follow the link that I'll link below on 5 successful tips setting up your home program. It's like 8 videos, all that, PDF downloads, way more. A lot of you guys got it like even just a month or so ago. We've totally revamped it into a course. Get involved in that. So there's different ways of doing it. Why am I stressing all this? Guys, we're going into, people like to say it's the second wave. It's the first wave. We haven't gotten out of it. We're going into COVID. Our schools here in Arizona are starting to lock down. When the schools lock down, there's no PT. There's no OT. There's no one overseeing your child, evaluating your child. There's no one, you're not getting that feedback saying, hey, you know, Johnny's just not himself today, kind of thing. You're gonna have to do it all yourself, and for some that's overwhelming, but that's why since COVID, we've set up all the tools. You wanna become like me? Start doing the training. So with Movement Lesson, it's 4 segments to go in. Start with segment 1. You'll know touch from all different angles. It's like the best thing you can do for anybody. You start with a touch, then working with your child, then going into diagnoses and such, and then the troubleshooting. So it's 4 segments. Get the syllabus, look into it. Really I got CVI, astigmatism, and non-binocular vision. Do the cognitive vision course. Now, I guide you through them like on a quarterly basis, but a lot of these courses you can take at any time, you know, and now we're also going into Russian. So Russian, the movement lesson training is available. We're going into cognitive vision next with the Russian. The scoliosis course, we're going to be translating into Russian, and a couple of others are in the works for Russian. They'll be done probably all by March of next year. And now we're also going in by March next year, we're going to have movement lesson Spanish. So, and there's also movement lesson Spanish page, a group page within the group here. So with Claudia and Felipe and Betsy are all bilingual. Ich bin ein bisschen Deutsch, or ich spreche, but otherwise, you know, my German's quite poor, but I can understand a lot. But really, it's Spanish and English here, and again, we've got friends around the world, so if I really need help because you speak Russian, again, there's a movement lesson Russian group, Elizaveta oversees that. So there's a lot of resources for you to help you and your child, right? There's spine courses, there's hip courses. So I just wanted you to know all this. Why? And I repeat it every once in a while. I swear I'll post this post, and then tomorrow someone's going to be like, I didn't know you had a constipation course. So the courses are out there. We've just updated the website. It's in the works to fine tune it and to get it the website is movementlesson.academy. And we're updating too because I have new practitioners in. There's Vanessa Laws, there's Jennifer Miller, there's Amy Concilio, there's lots of Philippe Pradal, there's lots of people now that are becoming practitioners, and with the new site, they'll all be listed up on that. So we just keep growing. We're here to help you. We're around the world. But again, I really want you to first of all have a plan with anything, right? So let's say we have a child that I think I have CP, or I do have CP. You have spasticity. When a body only has one solution to a problem, I panic. The whole thing of anything to solving your problems or helping you out is when I have more than one solution. So the solutions are there, and that's where Movement Lesson helps with cerebral palsy, because we offer new solutions to movements that they've been trying to do in various ways, but they panic. They don't have that internal balance structure done, and that's what we work on. So I'm here for you guys, all the questions in the world, and the last but not least, right up there on your upper right corner in this group, you'll see a thing called units. There's like 20-some units of various things, of working with the pelvis, working with the chest, crossing midline, with vision. That alone will just keep you busy for a while. We're not here to overwhelm you. If you have a question, ask the question. That being said, for those of you in the U.S., we celebrate our Thanksgiving this week. I wish you a wonderful holiday. We're getting into the Christmas season. We are here all the way up to Christmas. I am taking off the week of Christmas. Don't often say this, but you know, I'm shutting down the office because Christmas is on a Friday, Christmas Eve is on a Thursday, so the office is shut down for the week of Christmas. But again, there's emails and all of that sort of stuff. We go into the new year. I wish you well, but the best thing is I wish to help you. So please, post your videos, ask your questions. There's a whole bunch of us here to help you, and have a great day. Thanks.